We're playing Rime with the Frostmaiden, and I'm excited for tonight's session. But before we can begin, we definitely need a recap from last week, last meeting. So if anyone is interested in doing the recap, earning a DM inspiration for this session, which I believe that we may need. Alex and Alicia feel the same. They're the same person. Give us a
And
roll into
resting
chat.
on 1 HP in the dream here.
All right.
Getting those ones out of the way.
Well, I see a 5 in the chat from Akia going once, going twice, and we will sell it to Akia. Akia, take it away. Give us that recap.
All right. I believe last time we started this session, we were in the. We were still in the tower at Revel's End. Still up in the main section of Revel's End that had been overrun by Auril's Rime keepers. We knew that we didn't. We knew that we wanted to take the rest of them out as safely as possible. Maybe get them all grouped up, take them out all at once. So we came up with a plan to get them together. After many plans and ideas went out, we decided to lure the Rime Keepers out to the docks. We made an announcement over the intercom of the prison and set up an ambush at the docks. When the Rime Keepers came, we exploded them with many spells, but they were very tough, and a large fight ensued where people were getting slashed all over the place. People were drowning. People were exploding. People were getting mauled under the water by polar bears. Everything went kind of crazy. As we end out the fight, though, we're all still alive. Some of us barely, but the Rime Keepers have been all but one defeated.
Perfect. That was a good recap. Please give yourself a DM inspiration. And folks, I'm looking at our Factspiration question for this evening. Your character has been palette swapped. What is their new color palette? So your character has brand new color palette. What is their, if you guys are a Pokemon enjoyer, what's their shiny form look like? Essentially what this question is asking. And let us go to Game in the Glaive. Game in the Glaive. What is your color swapped version of Game In?
Well, I wear a lot of, furs, dark colours, brown mostly. I think if I was going to, change up the wardrobe and even, change my appearance, I think I'd have to go with, blue. I like blue. I think I'd wear blue well. And, human colours, all right. If I wasn't a Goliath. So, yeah, there we go.
Oh, perfect. Well, Gimmin, you can give yourself a Factspiration point for this session. Let us ask Lotus. Lotus, if you were to be color swapped, what would your color swap look like?
Well, I had been thinking it over, and looking over like here, I think since she really does like the color purple, her outfit would still be the same, like the white, robe and of course like the Flavia mask and everything. But I think she'd be like an amethyst dragonborn, the whole shiny purple look. In fact, I did work up something in Hero Forge here.
There you
Oh,
go.
awesome. Very cool. So we get kind of an inverse. Excellent.
Considering you are all light tones, I figure you're going to go with the opposite and go Wednesday Addams.
That wouldn't be bad either, but I think I'm sticking with the amethyst.
Very cool. Marcus, we can give you a Faxpiration point for this week's session. Let us ask Alicia. Alicia, what would your color swapped version of Alicia look like?
I've kind of gone through different looks already in this campaign. Because originally I had like more Alicia had more like tannish furs. I think they had like a kind of like a greenish sash kind of thing, and then they had black hair. So honestly, I think they would just kind of revert back to that, as opposed to this white and gold version that they currently are. Actually, I think the one that they're in right now is probably the shiny version compared to what they were like early in the campaign. So I think that would be the palette swaps.
That makes sense. Absolutely. We've definitely had a growing and kind of ever-evolving looks for Alicia, which has been pretty cool. Alicia can definitely add a Faxpiration point to their total. Indeed. Now, speaking of shiny, Akia, what would your palette swapped version be?
Well, when I saw the question, I immediately thought of just plaid, which made me think of I don't know. I can't post stuff into the Forge for whatever reason. I went ahead and put it in Discord. It just made me think of that guy from Futurama, just the plaid lumberjack robot. Yep.
I see. So, Akia just evolves into being a lumberjack. I like it. Awesome. Well, please award yourself a Faxpiration point. All right, folks, and let me grab our map where we are currently situated. Currently outside of Rebels in prison. It is currently in shambles and rumbles. A rebel.
I do not hear the music. Does anyone hear the music?
I do. It's just
I do
pretty
not hear
low.
music.
I can turn it up.
Yeah, you need to turn it up a little bit. Pretty low.
Did that help on your side?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I will take us back to outside of Rebels in prison. The current last person that you guys are facing off with is currently underwater. And they don't realize that all of their backup has been thoroughly butt-kicked. But I think they're going to figure that out here in just a second. Because according to our sheet, they are going first. All right. Gaiman is currently swimming out into the ocean. This Auril cultist will swim up, breaking through the surface of the water to see Akia flying up in the air. They look to the shoreline and they see that there is only death there. Not wanting to let their goddess down. They will target Akia. Oh, Akia before their turn goes off. They do get their frigid glare back. So they're going to go ahead and use that on Akia. Akia, can you give me a wisdom saving throw? That's his ability. You do. Okay, so Akia, you're immune to this ability for the next 24 hours. So they'll go ahead and just swim. That would be 10 total feet, or 20, 30 feet to there. And that's all they got. So we will pass to Alicia. Alicia, there's one guy out there swimming in the water, doing something.
Alicia, heavily bleeding, kind of looks at the stab wounds that this nasty drow had inflicted on them. And it's kind of just slumped against the wall. But dragging himself to the entryway, looking out to the rest of this battlefield, will they be able to see cruelty kind of going through the water? Like they've broken the surface, right? So they're visible?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna target them, and I'm just gonna do a first level guiding bolt. 21 to hit for 14 damage.
21 for 14 is a hit.
Okay, and they are now a easy target for the next attack. Bonus action. Not really anything that they're going to do. And then Alicia's turns and Celestial Spirit is going to move over next to them. They're going to target Alicia and use this ability. Pretty low. Healing Touch, get some health back. And then it's going to use the remaining. Sorry, is that way? Okay, how you do? Oh, that's. Or start flying this way. Towards the threat. That's it. I'll pass Gaiman.
All right, Gaiman.
All right, and Cloak the Manta Ray, that's a 60-foot swim speed. Am I remembering that correctly?
I believe so. I'll double check, but pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, 60 feet.
All right, so Gaiman is going to.
Don't you have? Aren't you still confused? Or did you? Are you?
I thought I shut that off.
Yeah, I think Gaiman saved against that ability. Or against that
Yeah, I
effect.
think I saved that at the end of the second round, but not before I'd swum away.
Oh. Yeah, I just saw the little token on you.
Oh, I will remove that then. There, it is gone. All right, Gaiman's going to swim back 60 feet. And we'll just dash, and we'll get up in this guy's grill. Give him no choice but to deal Gaiman. And yeah, that's my turn. I'll pass to him.
Okay. And we're back to round the new round. And Gaiman, who are you going to pass to?
I'm passing to the enemy.
All right, they will get passed to. I don't know how they keep recharging their ability. All right. They're going to turn around and they're going to, because we know that Akia saved against it. All right, they have not used this this ability yet. They're going to make 2 Frozen Claw attacks against Gaiman.
Oh, well, I didn't come up in height. I'm 10 feet below them.
That's true. They cannot make a Frozen Claw attack unless they sink down into the water. They're in a precarious situation. They will sink down 5 feet into the water because they see you swimming down. So they take a breath, dive down. Now that you are within 5 feet of them, now they will attack.
Okay.
Right. Here comes their Frozen Claw.
That hits.
All right, and I'll need a con save. Otherwise, you can gain a level of exhaustion from this ability. All right, no problem from Gaiman, and they make 1 more Frozen Claw attack.
A miss.
Which misses. All right, and then Gaiman can steal after they have made their attack.
Oh, I'm stealing back. So, all right. So I'm going to come up 5 feet. So I'm the same level as them, and just gonna wail on them. We'll do this recklessly.
All right, that is a hit. And they are just barely holding on there as their body is getting torn apart by your weapons. They seem to take not full damage from the Rimmeraz Fang, as you guys are underwater, and they appear to be a tiefling.
I'll pass to Akia so you can do the deed.
If I mount PBR, can I use my action to activate their special ability?
Yes, I think that sounds awesome. Let's do it.
PBR, fire!
All right, so they're gonna go ahead and spit a cannonball. Let's see what happens. Ooh. All right, so they fire a cannonball. Let's see if the creature makes a save. It really won't matter. So even though they save, they will still take half damage. So Gaiman, you see this cannonball fly through the air, and it hits this person right in the chest, tears them apart for 8 points of damage, and they slowly begin to float up to the top of the water, dead. And with that, you guys look around looking for more members of this Rime Keeper crew. There are none. I will remove them from combat. And none of you guys are in danger of dying at the moment. So I will go ahead and end the combat encounter.
I just love how he put "at the moment" at the end there.
You always got to put that in there.
Standard disclaimer.
I guess I'll quickly jog over towards Alicia. Say like, Alicia, you alright?
Alicia just slumps up against the doorway, coughs up some blood, kind of wipes it. I think I'll be okay.
He'll move up beside you against the wall, and then once again reflexively start reaching for where her cigarettes would be, and then she's like, oh fuck, Gaiman still has them.
I'll collect the bodies before they wash too far away and drag them up to shore.
By the way, Alicia, and she's somewhat staring at the celestial spirit. What's that?
Oh, it is a servant of the Morning Lord. I guess with growing power comes access to certain privileges. The celestial spirit kind of just hovers there, looks at you, looks at Alicia. It rings, making sounds like a church bell, and Alicia just says something back to it in celestial, and then it just continues watching the area.
I'll lean over to you, Alicia, and whisper. It's like, look, I appreciate their help, but like, I don't know. It's like it's got so many eyes. I can't tell which one to look at.
The center one, if anything.
Oh, okay. She'll just sort of wave at and say, thank you.
More church bell sounds, and then Alicia says something in celestial to it. It is a bit wary of you. I think it senses your infernal heritage, so it's keeping an eye on you. I told it that you're friendly.
It looks very reminiscent of the device that we made at the Black Cabin.
Well,
Keeping an eye on me, huh? And she raises an eyebrow.
ow, yeah. And if I remember correctly, our friend, gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Shit, what was it?
Checking our notes so hard.
Yeah, I am.
Gaiman comes out of the water at the beach, doing his best Ursula Andress impression.
Your allies who were hiding this entire time behind a bunch of barrels. And on PBR. Barrels on top of PBR begin to poke their heads out.
Oh,
I will
Kratos.
slowly reveal.
Kratos. If I remember correctly, he was also a follower of the Morning Lord, so maybe he based his designs off of something that he saw.
Just so everyone can get the proper image, while Gaiman's doing that, they also appear to be a manta ray-based furry.
A very sexy manta ray-based furry.
Is there any other kind?
Well, I'm just saying, if I'm doing an Ursula Andress impression, then, there's an extra bit of, sexiness.
Gotcha.
All the sexiness.
See? Lex gets it. Gaiman will rummage around in his sporran and say, "Oh well, it's been kind of a stressful few hours. I don't know if you. I know we were trying to get you a quick cold turkey, but sometimes it can be a bit hard." And he'll proffer the soaked-through package of cigarettes to you.
All right. I guess to the DM, could I use prestidigitation to dry them out that they would be smokable again?
I think prestidigitation has that use case.
All right. So she looks a little bit. She frowns a bit at first, but then she's like, "Oh wait, I've got magic." And then you just see her, the little glow in her hand, and she uses prestidigitation to draw out the cigarettes and just say, "Oh, thanks, Gavin. And she'll
Just
put
the one,
all right. She'll take
because I know
one
you've been
out.
sneaking them before.
All right. She'll take one out.
Magic mouth activates.
Yes.
Forgot about magic mouth.
Oh yeah, see, smoking is bad for you.
Surgeon
just sort
General's
of-
warning.
Yeah, she'll tell you guys, it's like, look, in my world, they sell these in packages that have giant warning labels on them, and it clearly hasn't stopped anyone, so I don't think this is going to work.
You can't fault them for trying.
Gaming will take back the rest of the package, though. You only get the one.
Alright, she'll put the cigarette in her mouth, and then she'll use the prestidigitation to light it.
Akia is rifling through all of the belongings of the Rime Keepers, looking for valuables, but also looking for any clues about Sybil's intentions, past anything past just enslaving the minds of the people.
So you're looking through, trying to see if any of them have any of the, if you've played Skyrim, the Dark Brotherhood calling cards in their clothing. Unfortunately enough, Akia, you don't seem to find anything of value in their belongings. These seem to be soldiers who keep things very light and tight beyond their weapons that they had with them. Most of their weapons, mundane, just useful for attacking and stabbing. I'm sorry, your search does not pull up anything useful.
Okie dokie. I remember a javelin was thrown. I'm gonna go recover that javelin. I think I need just a random weapon for something later.
Do we think we can take a bit of a rest now?
If I'm remembering correctly, I believe one of them threw a javelin like at me while I was flying over the water.
Yeah, so you want to recover that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Your allies will approach slowly but surely, including Baelish Gant in their number, even though I know that technically maybe not an ally. Watto has offered his shoulder to Talbot, the former stable master, as they work their way down the gangplanks towards you all.
Yes, Watto would see Lotus there hanging with Alicia, and Lotus smoking, and she is doing her best, Alicia, to make sure to keep the smoke away from you.
Appreciate it.
Danica will pipe up and say, "So, you all, the battle looks like for the most part it's over. Is the prison..." She puts air quotes into the air. "Safe?"
As safe as a busted up prison can be, I guess. Though I guess this means, and she sort of eyes over at Gant, someone will be staying with us a bit longer.
Danica will look to Alicia, very injured. Danica will approach you, Alicia. Start to help Lotus heal up your wounds or to get you ready for transport back into the prison, and says to you, "Thames, what is our next move now that we've hopefully stopped the incursion here?"
I'm going to hope that there's not any other enemies inside. I think they should be accounted for now. I
Yes.
Yes.
definitely was not expecting this group to be so strong.
The group that stayed with Sybil. Maybe she left her best behind, or maybe this was the strongest. Either way, if that was indeed the last of them, we should probably rest here for the night, and well, for the rest of the day, and head to Bryn Shander in the morning.
I think I don't remember if this was ever asked Orpheus. Was there any indication what happened to our sled dogs?
I think.
No
it
one's
was.
asked so far.
We do have Talbot with us, but I guess we could also check the stables.
Yeah, we
Joey's
could
gonna go
probably
check
just.
the stables.
Yeah, I mean, we have the stable master here. Maybe he knows. I assume Sybil took them, but find out.
The ultimate disrespect.
Mm-hmm. Ultimate disrespect.
Fuck you, Thanes, and your dog.
The stable master Talbot will say, "Oh, your puppies that we were watching. Yes, they're safe in the stables. Last time I looked, I made sure to hide them as best as I could."
Yeah, they also signed a B team contract and couldn't get into a fight.
I don't know if there's anything else to worry for in the prison, but hold on.
Cute little paw print contracts.
Oh, actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna cast that. Forget that. That breaks concentration.
Oh, how long does the celestial spirit last?
It lasts for an hour. I want to keep the spirit up, actually.
Yeah. We should rest for sure.
Mhm. So I guess I'll look over and say, "So Gant, looks like you're going to be hanging around with us for a bit."
Yeah, it seemed that was the agreement by the master.
Well, at least until you know who comes looking.
Yes. He looks to you and says, "Do you have any reason to suspect that they're coming soon, or is everything going as planned?"
Well, as far as I'm aware, the deadline is in a week. She's still used to the way time works back home. Like, still have about 7 days to the deadline, but if but you never know. He might come by sooner. Who knows when certain powers are involved.
If I remember correctly, the deadline is no longer a thing. Like, you completed the contract, so the deadline is like done, and then you can just visit your father whenever you want to.
Well, sort of, but if I recall, the way it works is like I was told by the imp dude that it's like, yes, you fulfilled your part of the bargain, and I will come for you. Basically, like he'll come for me when Asmodeus has everything ready, which I don't believe he gave a particular time frame, but feel free to correct me on that.
He did say he would basically give you the opportunity before the original deadline was over.
Oh,
So yeah, at some point within the next 7 days, then.
That's not a lot of time.
But I believe Alicia is right. We should definitely rest, heal our wounds, and while this battle is over, the war has only just begun.
I suppose this is the first time that we've actively entered combat with the Church of Auril.
Well, this is Danica. Before we leave, I think we should get a good rest in here, and then make our way.
We should inform the warden and the counselors. I think we left them back in the tower.
Yes, we could all go rest back in the tower.
Yes. Should be the safest place here.
Oh, I will go recover the rope. The 200 feet of rope. And give, assuming I make it back alive, I will give back everyone their rope pieces.
Thank you, Kia.
So yeah, I guess we head back to the tower, to the warden.
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I don't really want to act it out, but I think on the way back, Akia is going to start talking about like how the plan worked so well and it was all his idea and everything that went right was because of him, and it gets real weird.
Damn.
Wait, repeat that again?
So I don't really want to act it out.
Right.
I don't want to RP it, but Akia, as y'all walk back, Akia is going to start talking about like how everything in the plan was basically their idea, that it all went went smoothly because of him, that sort of thing.
You guys are able to walk back to the warden's room without a hitch. There's no encounters that get in your way. You're not accosted by secret cultists of Auril. As you arrive, you see that the warden is busily looking through things in the room to make sure there's anything that she can do to try to scavenge what has happened to the prison, or potentially try to contact someone as she is kind of running through the room kind of hazardly.
Yeah. If there's nothing else, Alicia's just gonna find one of the other couches and collapse on it.
The warden will approach you all and say, I'm happy to see that you all, well, survived your encounter with such a larger force. Tell me, were they all defeated, and what can I do to help you all next?
I was curious what kind of forces they would have had to bring to take down prison. Now I see why. They were strong. But I think we're good here. Warden, do you recall which direction the remaining of their forces headed in?
Yes, hold on. Let me make sure that I get this correct. And she pulls out a map. Yes, they would be heading due southwest, which would be the general direction of Bryn Shander.
It seems they were heading back. Okay. I'm just gonna rest here.
Gaiman's still kind of keyed up from the fight and is a little put off by what Akia said, and he's going to start using the furniture in these chambers as improvised exercise equipment.
Well, heroes, if there's anything I can do to help, I can think of one thing that potentially could set you all up for success. I have a scroll. With it, I could expedite your travel back to 10 towns to either hedge off this main force or to get a jump on them. It would teleport you immediately back to Bryn Shander. Because it seems this Church of Auril is, well, they've attacked the prison. They've kidnapped some of our most dangerous prisoners I'm sure, to add to their army.
How long ago did they leave?
She says, that would have been roughly 24 to 36 hours ago.
I'm trying to remember. How long did it take for us to travel up to prison? Because we came from... Was it Tourmaline?
Akia will make their best guess as to whether or not we would beat them to Bryn Shander if we teleported there after a long rest. Would that be a skill check?
I'm sorry, can you ask me that question again? I got lost halfway through that. Sorry.
Oh, Akia's going to try and just based on hearing what they brought with them, assuming they're headed directly back to Bryn Shander, assuming we have a long rest here, and then immediately teleport to Bryn Shander. Akia is going to try and figure out if we would what the relative arriving times would be.
Sure,
who would get there first?
Okay. For that, go ahead and give us a history check.
Oh wow, another 2.
Okay, with a 10, you believe that you would just barely beat them back. You think, no problem. We'd be there maybe 5-10 minutes before they get there, so you'd have more than enough time to set up defenses.
All right. I believe that if we rest and teleport back, we should arrive 5 or 10 minutes before they do.
Doesn't give us much time to prepare, but it's better than nothing.
I think we should take her up on the offer. Right? Everyone?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're not going to say no to that, but honestly, what's the plan, though? Look, we're not going to take on a fucking army by ourselves. Not in a stand-up fight.
Well, I was thinking that I could challenge Sybil for leadership of the church. We defeat Sybil and the golem. I believe that would be the end of it.
You suggest that, and Lotus has a very visible roll of her eyes. And it's like, you challenge Sybil to an honorable duel, and you think that she and the rest of the Auril cultists are going to go along with it.
Well, I never said a duel. OOC, I know that is very boring for the rest of the party. For someone to get in a duel by themselves. But I believe that if Sybil is defeated and the golem destroyed, with everyone broken out of the hypnosis, I believe I could make a decent argument.
But, I mean, she's the source of the, hypnosis, the golem and whatnot. We're assuming that she plays fair. I mean, what's the plan? Like, we take on the golem. Not to mention, I mean, do we have what we needed to, get the spell off of Lotus's body? That energy spell or whatever.
We have this, and Akia will hold up the codicil of white. The poem inside should be powerful enough to destroy the golem.
All right, just I believe in having a plan B,
OOC, do I need to time myself, like how fast I can say this poem out loud, so we know how many rounds it'll take?
In combat?
Yeah, I just had that thought. It's like it's a long poem.
I would say just using your action to read the poem is fine. You don't have to time yourself doing it.
I believe we can use the poem to destroy the golem. Then it will be I wouldn't say fair fight, but it should be a fight between us and Sybil and her champions.
You'll pardon my language when it comes to the oral cults. I really don't give a fuck about a fair fight. When you fight for what's right, sometimes you gotta fight dirty.
Okay.
I'm in agreement with Lotus over there, and you hear this from Watto. We can't just trust that the cultists of Auril or Sybil are just going to agree to anything close to honorable. So should we not, use guerrilla tactics of our own?
Oh, yes, by all means. I'm just saying, as we attack, I will proclaim that I am taking leadership of the church.
That makes a lot more sense. Akia, I feel like you've had such a change in personality since we've begun this adventure together. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that you turned down being the speaker of Goodmead.
Well, I don't want to be the leader of the church. But I believe that it is the quickest path to what we need to get done and what is best for Tin Towns.
Mm.
Also, I do plan on resigning as leader of the church as soon as possible.
And would that be when the sun comes back?
I'm not sure. I was kind of hoping that I could just have a first official action of telling everyone to leave or something. Maybe tell the church, the members to take up residence in one of the destroyed villages and then resign. Maybe I hadn't really thought that part through yet.
Mm. Well, Akia, if it means anything to you, from a person that has been in a cult themselves, and I think that you would be a fine cult leader.
Well, thank you.
You know, Watto, that is something I always sort of wondered. What kind of cult calls themselves a cult, anyway?
Well, at least when I was in the cult of Grazd, it was always, we all knew what we were signing up for. I feel that for some people, when a church calls itself a church, but it's really a cult, there's a line of, how would you define it? Subterfuge that they are using on their members.
Alright.
And I feel that has happened at least a little bit here in this situation. At least in my opinion.
Wouldn't that make the cult of Gratz A Church of Grots and the Church of Auril, the Cult of Auril?
I need to consult my notes, Akia. You've presented me with a parable that I don't know if I could solve right now. I'll be with my books. Excuse me. And he walks over and he begins to research heavily into his books.
Alicia, may I ask you a question, or do you need to rest?
Preferably, I would like to rest.
Okay,
I'll
for how
ans-
long?
I'll answer any philosophical questions when I've woken up.
How long will that be?
I think at least 8 hours.
I will start a timer.
Oh, joy. Maybe I'll give you something to think on during that time, because I was somehow able to overhear this conversation. There's a very, very fine line between the members of a church and the members of a cult. It's all about the intent and actions of the organization, but the one-time thing between them is the faith. What they believe in, who they believe in, and how they treat others who also believe in the same thing or don't believe in the same thing. That is what separates a church from a cult.
Ah, so churches are always nice to non-members, and cults are always mean.
Again, it depends. We can talk about this in the morning, or whatever time of day it is.
It is 1:29 and 35 seconds.
We can talk about this in the evening.
Okay.
There's church bells from the celestial spirit. Alicia says something in celestial, and it just looks at Watto.
Jimmy's continuing to do his exercises.
I would say while Watto is in his books, Lotus would walk up to Kriv and say in Draconic and then in common, "Well met, scale friend."
Well met again. It seems that we owe you our lives.
Yes, but well, I want to say you have my condolences over the fallen counselor.
I appreciate that. Yes, Jill will be missed. And, as I'm sure you're aware, we do not negotiate with terrorists, so you acted in the correct manner. Do not allow them to hold you hostage in your actions.
She nods and says, "Back home, I was a journalist, for a newspaper in the major city where I worked. And I assume you're familiar with Baldur's Gate."
I am.
The city where I'm from, a place called Baltimore, is very similar. A port town, a lot of trade, and a lot of underhanded dealings going on and such. But one thing I never did while writing for the newspaper was I never compromised myself or my values. I wanted to use my voice to provide a voice for those who couldn't speak for themselves.
And how interesting is that a reporter has now become a hero, a warrior, a thane.
Gives a bit of a grin, says, I admit it's something that I picked up from my mother. You know, she was a fighter in her own way at the dock workers union, and quite a few strikes, many of them unfortunately turning violent, even against the local law enforcement. But she always told me that there's always something worth fighting for, but you never have to fight alone. And I guess this says that she looks over at her allies amongst the room.
I'm glad that you won't have to deal with this alone. I was listening to your conversation, not wanting to pry. We are a council, after all. It seems that you are going against an army. He switches over from Draconic back to Common, and he says, do you all have allies for this upcoming battle?
Sure, we could muster some, but the unfortunate thing with 10 towns being what it is right now, many are rebuilding, and, well, I only shudder as to what more damage the Auril cult has done, especially considering what they've done here.
Hmm. And do you have allies outside of the city? Anyone else that you could call on in your time of need?
She thinks for a moment, then she's like, excuse me. And then she taps the side of the Flavy mask and she starts going through her, I guess,
Her
whatever the
Rolodex.
equivalent of, like, yeah, her contacts list, and says, like, huh, you know.
3
Maybe-
kobolds in a trench coat.
And she's like, you know, I'm not sure how long it would take them to show up, but I'm pretty sure if I put out the call, we could have some capable hands.
From where Jamin's lifting really big desks, he's like, that sounds like blackmail.
You broke up. What'd you say?
He's shouting out, that sounds like blackmail.
I'm not gonna blackmail anyone, Gaiman. I'm just going to send them a message to come join us in the fight against Auril. That's all.
The kobolds?
You all know an army of kobolds?
A handful of kobolds.
Hmm.
I didn't think Lotus would think of them as warriors. I would be surprised if she said yes. I'm just not sure who she is referring to.
Well, we've helped several people through our journey through the 10 towns, and, you know, I can get in touch with them. She taps the side of the Flavy mask, even if they can't communicate back. Anyone who's able to, and willing, of course, I hope would help us.
Flavy will announce to the room. Lotus, would you like me to put this out as a general message to other allies that you have made in this journey?
Yes, but give me some time to properly compose the message first before you send it.
Of course. I will be waiting for your instructions, Lotus. And Lotus, you begin to think of who else could they be meaning? And heroes, now's your time to think. Who could you call upon in your time of need that you've met in this adventure that you want Lotus's basic like Google Glass here to contact for you to basically summon to your aid here in this battle against the Church of Auril?
We did not help the goblins.
But you guys have helped a lot of other people.
Yeah.
I mean, we have some Yetis, but I don't know how well translation would work.
Well, I mean, there is an army of Durgar that we're on good terms with. There's also an ice frog kingdom that does love mayonnaise.
I mean, we can make more mayonnaise. Just we have to promise it to him after the fight.
Yes. If you make a flyer, be sure to put free mayonnaise at the bottom. Wait, I'm not sure what language the ice frogs can read. Let's see. We killed all of the Christmas critters. There's a lot of people in Tin Towns that we've made friends with. People of the different towns. Like Tourmaline and Goodmead and the others that we've been to and helped out a little bit.
She also thinks, do you think the Dorgar, or at least the few that still remain on the surface, might be willing to help us?
I believe so, as long as they can make a profit from it. They seem to be very business-oriented.
I mean, I'm sure we could work something out. I mean, the 10 towns need to rebuild, and they certainly seem very engineering-minded. I'm sure something could be worked out.
Probably. If nothing else, if they want to reopen the coal mine and sell coal to Tin Towns, it would help if there was a Tin Towns. Or, I suppose they could be selling their brew, but based on everyone's reaction at the time, it did not seem like that would go well.
Yeah, mushrooms are not for everyone, honestly.
OOC, I do not recall anyone else outside of Tin Towns that we have helped off the top of my head.
I think you guys have listed a pretty comprehensive list.
Marta, do you happen to know if the prisoners that we brought, what happened to them?
He says, well, we can check what cells they were in and see if we can find any evidence. I'm not sure what has happened to them off the top of my head based on what has transpired over the last few hours.
Maybe we should take an inventory just to see if there's any particularly, what would be the word? Any prisoners that we need to be particularly aware of, possibly having turned to the side of Auril, the Church of Auril. Any with extraordinary abilities, things like that.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you all are resting. I will get, my staff, and she looks to the members of the Absolution Council, on that right away. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I have to get word out to the Lord's Alliance that this has happened. Among other groups.
Well, if we do not use the scroll and we wait on reinforcements, I suppose that would be one way to get word there quickly. Or perhaps someone has some magic that can send a message to them. Lotus, you have to know the recipient of your messages, correct?
Yes. Though I can send a message to anyone else who has one of these, but we only know for sure one other person who does have one.
Watto will look up and say, is it finally time to try to make contact with this avarice?
Yes, Lotus will look to the others and say, well, what do you think?
I was actually thinking about that earlier. I do believe that we should meet with... Oh, sorry. What's the name of the wizards? The group of wizards?
Oh, the Arcane Brotherhood.
Yes, the Arcane Brotherhood. I have been thinking that we should meet with them. Possibly as a group, though. I believe if you just invite Avarice... was that her name, Avarice?
Yes.
Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
I believe if you just invite Avarice, it might elevate her position unintentionally.
True, but
if we don't meet with them, there could be things going on that could be potentially dangerous just to be unaware of. Who knows what a group of wizards could be getting up to?
Well, I do. Gant will raise his hands.
yes, Gant.
Well, I was a member of the Arcane Brotherhood. And I think we've discussed some of this before, and when you all met with the ghost of Nas Lantamir on Solstice. There's something that everyone wanted, and that was the information in the book.
Oh, was it the entire Brotherhood? It wasn't just Nas that wanted the information from the book?
He nods. Yes, maybe we've only discussed this in bits and pieces, and, it's been kind of a whirlwind with everything that's happened. But the book tells us how to, get to the Netherese city, right? And,
Right.
well, that's what, speaking for not all wizards, but for most wizards, the Netherese were a wizard society. They had floating cities. They had magical power engines that could do anything.
Right.
I'm going out on a limb here, but give that chance to any wizard and they're going to come over to your side.
Gant, this might seem like a strange question, considering our positions, but if you would humor me on this, do you think that we should trust the Arcane Brotherhood to come with us to the glacier?
I think this way. I have a implicit reason to not double-cross you. The other members of the Arcane Brotherhood do not. So, in my opinion, you should not trust the other members of the Arcane Brotherhood. But they would have all of the reason in the world to be motivated to help you to get the opportunity to go to the glacier and see Ythryn.
Right. Lotus.
Yes, Kia.
I believe that inviting the members of the Arcane Brotherhood that are here in Tin Towns, if we invite them as a group, you could take your measure of avarice before you become indebted to her in some way.
She nods and says, yes. We ask, right. I think that's a good idea. We talk about the big picture, and then just get a handle on that. Then I could speak to her about other matters.
I would also just like to say one final time, the spells look cool. I don't think you should remove them. But I won't say it again. Your choice.
Once we use them, they're going to be removed anyway.
Well then. Oh wait. Sorry, I was getting two things confused in my head. OOC. I got confused for a second. I was mixing up getting the spells removed and getting the plastic surgery mixed up.
Easy mistake to make.
Both Lotus body modifications.
It's like, Kia, you don't understand. And she'll do this in full view of everyone, because she knows she can trust everyone in here. She'll pull off the Flavy mask, and everyone will see her burns, her scars, and how she's partially blind in one eye, and she'll speak in the raspy voice. You don't know what it's like. Even before this happened to me, I was ridiculed. I was made fun of. I was bullied. Do you have any idea what that is like?
One of your companions will speak up. Notice, I don't know if Akia would know exactly what that's like based on their life experiences. You see, this is Mr. Nabernacker. Am I correct in saying that, Akia?
Well, I'm not sure how to answer that. I'm sure that it is definitely different from what I've experienced.
We know that Akia has been sought after by these creatures of darkness to consume, like those wascally Christmas critters.
I just want a chance to go back to the way things were. I'm not going to... You are right, and while this is something I want, I'm not going to throw myself at it without thinking it through. And then she'll take the mask and pull it back down, and her body clears back up, and so does her voice. And says, "It's just everything is so different, and now with all this, I might have a chance for at least something to be like it was before."
The warden will walk back over and put her hand on your guys' shoulders and say, I'm sensing a little tension here, y'all. Maybe it's best if you rest for the evening while I get that information for you all.
Yes, thank you. Well, since I'm talking about home, I'll go over to Criv and say, I do believe I did promise you that I would answer your questions about my world. I guess now's as good a time as any.
And Lotus, was this to the warden?
No,
Or to Criv?
Counselor Criv, yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. He says, excellent. Well, tell me, in our world, our kind are rare. You will be hard to find, Dragonborn. Is it that way where you are from?
most cases, yes. Most Dragonborn tend to congregate in large cities. In fact, the city of Baltimore is known for its fairly dense Dragonborn population, and we even have a church dedicated to Bahamut there, where we would meet every Sunday.
It is very interesting that the Platinum One is worshipped on your world, even as they are here.
There are many interesting things and similarities, though I must admit that it was kind of funny when I found out the true nature of Mistra, considering that how many times I asked her to play Despacito for me, and I admit if I do end up meeting her one day, I will feel her wrath for such a thing.
He chuckles and says, "You speak of the goddess of magic and the goodly god of dragons so freely. Your world very
Okay.
I think we have to pop over there after we've had a chance to recover. We gotta, reconnoiter a bit. Then we can kind of figure things out.
All right.
That's just my 2 cents. That's all.
Okay. We'll be careful. And make a plan.
Alright. Just don't want you, I don't know, doing something crazy. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'll catch you later.
Okay.
And Kieran will go bed down.
All right, it sounds like you guys can hit the long rest button on your character sheets. As everyone's getting their rest for the day, and I will. So the hour has shifted. It is now the 2nd of Nightal here in Icewind Dale. We gotta love the blessing of the Thunder reminder. So you guys are all in the prison. You've recovered from wounds from the day before, and the warden has prepared the information that you asked for. She has compiled a list of the most dangerous prisoners that she seems to have been missing. She will approach you, Akia, with the list and say, Akia, we've done some checking, and it seems that your prisoners that you brought here, the Verbeeks, they are missing.
Thank you. I hope they have not been brainwashed.
Yes, and unfortunately enough, after checking through our records and against some of the structures and things, several of our most dangerous prisoners have been unaccounted for. The one I am the most worried about, however, is Varkan. He's known as the Hollow, a champion of Grazd. We captured him in Luskan, making sacrifices to his demonic patron.
I saw look over at Watto and say, like, you recognize the name?
You see Watto is visibly sweating, which is weird because he is a tabaxi. Yes, I do recognize the name. He was a higher up in the cult, well known by all of its members. I had heard that he had been imprisoned for his actions. A true worshipper of Grazd. Well, I draw my powers from the arcane, from studying, from books. Varkan drew his powers from the pact that he made with the Demon Prince.
Ah, warlock then.
He nods his head.
Well, shall need to take special care if we encounter him then.
The warden will pipe up and say, he is incredibly dangerous. But perhaps he could be bargained with if your ally, she points to Watto, has experience with him. The warden will let out a small cough and say, so, as you had the evening to kind of rest up and kind of think about what your next moves were. Did you figure anything out?
I think Akia might have a good idea. Yeah, this
Sorry, I'm
arc.
setting stuff up. Changing out spells.
Yeah, the Arcane Brotherhood would probably at least have more knowledge than us as to these Netherese things. So, if you all want, I could. She'll tap the side of Flavy Mask. Give them a call.
Hey, does anybody have an attunement slot and want something?
It was the vaguest question I've ever heard.
Yeah, I know.
Mine are all taken.
I mean, what do you have to offer? I could have a 2-minute slot freed up.
Let's see, I'm picking my infusions for the day after the long rest. I could infuse a spell refueling ring. That gives just like an extra spell slot. I've got a ring of mind shielding, which allows prevents other creatures from reading your thoughts with magic. Also, if you die, your soul enters the ring instead of departing for the afterlife. Or can I use the same infusion more than once? I forget.
States.
What's
Yeah,
that?
if it states that you can, I think it says that. But I think there might be a rule that if it doesn't say you can use it more than once, you can't use it more than once.
Yeah, I think it has to read that. You can select it more than once.
Well, not that you can.
Maybe in the infusion rules or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can infuse 2 items with enhanced defense or something like that, or a radiant weapon. I don't know. Yeah. but that's what I got. I don't think we'll need the Cloak of the Manta Ray anymore. So I could infuse a spell ring, which gives a 3rd level spell slot, or a ring that prevents your thoughts from being read and prevents your soul from going somewhere. I don't know.
You got a lot of options.
I do have a lot of options. I guess I'll just do... I don't know. I guess we could have a really weird day and just really need a 3rd level spell slot. Probably not, though. Probably not. I guess I'll just infuse the Ring of Mind Shielding. But then not attuned to it, just have it. I don't know. It's so weird.
And stick it on somebody else so that when they die, you have their soul stuck in this ring.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, heroes, I should also give you this, and Marta will present the spell scroll to you all, just in case you need it to teleport.
Yeah, I guess the question is, who wants it?
Is it one of those things where you have to have teleport in your wheelhouse, or else you have to roll on a caster check wild magic table?
For this?
So I think, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that Lotus would have this on hers. Let's just quickly check.
Yeah, I think Lotus has to use it, or any of the rest of us has to roll like wild magic.
Absolutely.
That's fine. I just didn't want to, I just didn't want to assume. That's all.
Speaking of which, I need to make
wizard.
I need to make more items to tempt Gaiman into making wild magic surge checks. I keep giving him things, but he's not using them.
It's like, but what if we need it for later?
He's got at least 3 items on him right now that would prompt magic surges.
Okay, I'll go ahead and, like I said, I'll walk up to the warden and take the spell scroll and bow my head to her and say, "Thank you, warden. Your assistance is greatly appreciated."
I have to thank you again, because without you coming back to the prison and without your help, I'm sure that we would all now be dead. My next step is I am going to try to get in contact with the outside world, with the Lord's Alliance, see what we might be able to do to get more backup for you all.
Oh, did Lotus send out that message to, like,
I hadn't. At the Arcane Brotherhood, I hadn't yet. This is a big deal, and I want to make sure everyone's cool with it first.
I think involving the Arcane Brotherhood is not a good idea.
I'm not sure if it'd be a good idea, but it would definitely be interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Gaiman. Not a good idea.
I mean, on OOC, I think it would be more interesting to take the Arcane Brotherhood with us when we try to find the city. So I think it might be fun to be like, hey, if you help us put the Church of Auril in check, we'll take you with us when we go hunt down the city.
Yeah, I'm still gonna say no. I feel like they probably don't have the best intentions for finding the city. Just from the few interactions that we've had with them.
Yeah, I don't trust them.
Well, maybe y'all will trust them
Well-
more after we met them.
Here's the thing, Lotus doesn't necessarily trust them either, but she needs something from one of them.
Well, yeah. And of course, that doesn't necessitate that they be involved with this current situation. But it might be a good way to get to know them. So in character, I think Akia will go, Alicia, Gaiman, you know how Lotus is. We're not going to stop her from getting involved with avarice. Maybe fighting on the same side in a battle would be the healthy way of becoming friends.
So, aside from Gant here, who is with us by, well, I guess force at this point, why would we need to involve the rest of the Brotherhood in this? And from the sounds of it, their main goal is Codicil White, which you carry.
Well, their main goal isn't the Codicil. I believe the Codicil.
That gets them to the city.
Yes, it is. It is a tool, a means to an end.
And you carry that means with you.
Yes.
So what stops them from not attempting to take it?
They will not know that I have it with me.
And what bargaining chip do we have for them to be with us?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What bargaining chip do we have for them to be with us then?
We can tell them that we are headed to. Is it Netherese? Netherian city? What's the actual name of the city?
You believe the city is called Ytharin.
Ytharin, the Netheresen city. We can tell them if they help us get the church under control that we will take them with us to Ytharin.
Do you guys feel like you need a poll for this, or do you feel like you guys kind of have it?
I mean, I already know what I'm
Figured
gonna
out.
answer, but
Let's pull it up.
Yes, and the even numbered, the curse of the even numbered party.
If we don't have a clear majority in one way or another, we'll I don't know, fucking roll for it.
Here's my argument. Lotus is going to, if we don't do something like as a party to at least get acquainted with the Brotherhood, Lotus is probably going to get indebted to Avarice in some terrible way.
And what's the argument against? Ooh, 2-1.
Split.
argument against is Alicia doesn't believe that they need to be brought in to this matter at this point in time.
Not to mention, we don't have a relationship with them, and they're going to go off script. Like everybody else, like we have some kind of working understanding, and we kind of want the same things. Bringing in the Arcane Brotherhood, I think they would just make a mess of things. They don't care about saving what lives can be saved. It's just like, oh, you want us to get involved? You want us to, be on our pocket with regards to a favor because we helped you out?
They won't
Okay.
They won't care about collateral.
Yeah. They're just going to care about leveraging the situation to their advantage and just go for fucking broke.
And I mean, now that Gant can be trusted, but if even he is saying that they can't be trusted, I mean,
All right. Well, if we don't involve them now, you can still talk to Avarice later.
All right. True. I think for this sort of fight, it's probably best we make sure we bring our most known and trusted allies. I think they're right. The Arcane Brotherhood would be a bit too much of an unknown quantity in this fight.
How about just the one wizard that we met? Because they do seem to be, while they are part of a quote-unquote brotherhood, they do seem to be operating fairly independently. So we do have a wizard that we have made friends with. I will look through my notes for their name.
You speak of the simulacrum we made real?
Yes.
Zan?
I'm checking my notes, but probably.
Yes, he's been kind of off doing his own thing for quite a while. This is Watto saying this.
Yes, I was just wondering if they would be included. I mean, I would trust him as much as I would trust the Durgar. Which is to say, a little bit.
I think it's a good option, Akia. The former librarian of Bryn Shander will say. And it seemed like they had their own agenda, as you mentioned. They weren't necessarily aligned with the Arcane Brotherhood. They were their own person.
Yes, I mean, technically, they're not even part of the Arcane Brotherhood.
All right. And, well, as you said, we did bring him back to life in a way, so does give him good reason to be our ally, if nothing else. So, I did spend some time this morning. I think I've worked up a good message to send to everyone. Lewis will go over and she'll unravel a piece of parchment and she'll read this out to you all as if, because she wants your opinion, your guys' opinion on this. It says, "To the allies of the Thanes of 10 Towns, we call upon your aid. Meet us in, she would say here, but she could change that here. She could change it here. Meet us at Revel's End as soon as possible. We call upon your assistance to help us defeat the cult of Auril and bring the sun back to Icewind Dale. The cult thinks that by keeping us separate, they make us weak. But we can be strong if we fight together. Solidarity now, solidarity forever."
I mean, I like it, but it would possibly take the Duergar weeks to travel all the way to Revel's Inn. Shouldn't they meet us at someplace closer? I mean, we're just sort of... They would have to pass by Bryn Shander to travel here.
Well, it's like I said, this is just a draft. We're happy to make any appropriate changes.
I would agree. Meeting in Bryn Shander would be, or to bring their whatever they have, whether that's forces or weaponry or knowledge, to Bryn Shander, since that will be the location of the fight. Unfortunately, we don't know the exact point of where this army was marching or is currently. I was wondering if we could take out the golem from afar.
If I recall correctly, we did a test to see what the effective range was on a glacier while we were on PBR. And it was pretty decent.
Right.
Not super far, but not like melee.
Yeah, what did we call that? About 100 meters?
I honestly do not remember, but I just remember it was decent.
Because that teleportation, it would take us straight to Bryn Shander, correct? Nowhere else.
You could use it to take you to Bryn Shander, or potentially you could use it to take you to Targos. If there's a variety of places that you could have it take you.
Oh, okay. But it wouldn't take us somewhere like, say, the wilderness. If this army is still marching on the path, it would have to be an established place or location.
She says, well, if we do look at this spell scroll, if it's a very familiar place or a place that you've seen before, you could try to teleport to the wilderness, trying to head them off if that is your wish.
But the problem
I'm
is
looking
we
at this
don't
spell.
yeah. But the problem is we don't exactly know what path they're taking or where they would be passing through. We don't know their members either, or I could attempt to scry on them, but I don't know who's within that army that I could scry on, so it'd just be a shot in the dark.
You didn't get to know any of the cultists?
Well, most of the ones that are here are dead, and we don't know if Sybil was part of that marching army or if she's still at Bryn Shander. If she was part of the army, I could attempt to scry on her. But she was just in Bryn Shander.
You could scry on some of the prisoners that we knew. Could scry on Doug.
The report said that he was unaccounted for, but maybe he's with that group.
I assume that he is with the group that left Revel's Inn headed for Bryn Shander.
My other thought was, if we go to Bryn Shander as quickly as possible, deal with Sybil. Hopefully that breaks whatever hold they have on people there. And then that can be used to meet the forces that are heading for Bryn Shander. But that would be cutting it close. If I try this scrying, that is going to be a very high level spell. But I can try it. Alright. At least it's gonna go back to the couch and it's gonna pull out that giant what was it? A pearl? Yeah. A giant pearl. And kind of place it in front of them. And is going to kind of just go into a meditative state for a bit.
All right, we see Alicia begin to meditate.
If nothing happens within 10 minutes, then no, it's not. Damn. Alright, is what it is. Alright. 5th level spell slot. Scrying.
Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent.
They're going to attempt to put this on Doug.
Right. So, okay, I need to pull out a Doug here.
Do we have any part of Doug?
I highly doubt it.
Well, I don't know. We might have one of Doug's old possessions. We could search Doug's cell for a bit of hair. There might be some Doug fingernails or some Doug hair in the cell.
That just sounds grody.
I mean, but it's true.
All right, here we go. Let's grab him. And interesting. Okay, I need to do this. So don't worry about that right there. I'm just grabbing it to do this. All right. So, Alicia, your scry is put onto what feels like a open wilderness. It zooms down, and you can see marching in line with a group of humanoids wearing these dark cloaks, reminiscent of the Cult of Auril. You see Doug and Friend, the ogre. They are walking next to these people, and as you see them through your scrying eyes, you see that their eyes have been glazed over, and parts of them have been frostbitten as they march in tune with these creatures.
So it's within 10 feet of a target. Oh wait, you said there's humanoids. Do the other humanoids seem to be marching in a similar manner? It's not like I can see any details like on their face or anything like that, but if Doug is kind of marching in this like rigid formation, does it seem like the others are also doing that as well?
Yes, they are marching in this rigid, militaristic formation, in sync.
Okay. Let's see. It says moves with a target, ring with a 10 feet for the duration. See invisible objects. Oh, creatures that can't see. Oh. Okay. Then yeah, I'll continue focusing on them for the duration of 10 minutes. I assume there's no change that happens as they're marching.
That's correct. You can see that they are based on their positioning. That they are traveling in that southwest direction as the sensor views them from this bird's eye view.
Okay. All right. Trying to think of anything else. And you said friend is there, right?
That's correct.
All right. I guess after that 10 minutes, Alicia, there was a light that was glowing from the giant pearl, but that dims back to, or that light dissipates from the pearl, and Alicia opens her eyes again. All right. Seems like Doug and friend are with this group, and they are still marching towards what I can assume is Brent Shander. Seems it's still heading towards the southwest direction, or southeast direction. Sorry. It looked like his eyes were glazed over and parts of him were frostbitten. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say he's been converted.
Wada will say, "It sounds that way, Alicia."
Maybe. This is a stretch. I mean, damn it, I'll only see within 10. Oh wait, it says creates an invisible sensor within 10 feet of the target. You can see or hear through the sensor as if you were there. Sensor moves with the target remaining within 10 feet of the duration. Okay, it doesn't exactly say anything about visibility. Would it have been possible through the sensor to see if there is a large moving object that was with this marching army?
Yes, and
or to overhear anything in specific? Because it looks like I can both see and hear through it.
Yes. So the object would be able to see kind of beyond the large bodies of Friend and the large bodies of the very big Doug. You see kind of at the center of the formation is this large marching construct, which you recognize must be the statue that they have revived. And what you can hear is that they are all chanting a marching song, a song inspired by the cult of Auril. You've heard these type of hymns that they've sung before in Bryn Shander, praising Lady Frostkiss for her attention to beauty and how all beauty can only be truly worshipped if it is frozen. And that is their marching tune as they march towards Bryn Shander.
Okay. I'll relate that as well to the rest of the group assembled here. I guess last question is it possible for me to estimate how many individuals are part of this group?
Let's have Alicia make an investigation check here to see if she can get a number on how many people may be in this army.
Okay. Do I have any? I do not. Alright. How many fans we got left? 5? I'll think about it. Alright. Investigation. Here we go. Ooh, 20. Not bad.
Not bad at all. With a 20, Alicia, you can infer from your sensor that this may be an army of around 200 soldiers.
and a large ass statue in the middle. Okay. All right, then yeah, I'll relay all that information to the group here.
Yeah. We ought to start. I ought to start making some calls.
I think a head-on fight is definitely not in the cards.
Alicia, I noticed that you're awake now.
Yes.
Do you have time to answer that question?
About
I was wondering, what does anything happen to a god if they don't have any worshippers? Are they still... Does it affect them in some way? Do they just have worshippers because they enjoy being worshipped? Or is it like the source of their power, or...
that's a large question. I can tell you there are some working theories. Many suspect that gods are everlasting for as long as they have followers. So even if one was to be, and they make air quotes, slain, they will never truly be gone unless every last person who had faith in them stops having faith in them. Or as long as there's even one, then that god will still return. But that's just a theory. Others believe that there's a... This is a subject that many people have been trying to investigate for millennia, centuries, millennia, decades. There's many different ways that some philosophers think that divinity can be achieved, and just as many ways a god could stop being a god as well, but no one knows for sure.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Then again, it's the surmountable task of even slaying a god, which I have not even heard of. That's even possible.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems like a very large force is heading back to Prince Shander. If anything, we may have a couple of hours to get there before they do. If I am correct, many of their forces are charmed or converted in the same way that the townspeople of Prince Shander are. So if we are able to break the statue, maybe that will dissolve whatever hold is on them. However, if it's also made up of criminals and other elements, they may still be hostile, but that could reduce the number of adversaries we would have to deal with.
Yes.
Right.
And
So
hostiles will flee if they don't.
If they don't see that victory is on their side, it's possible their morale may break.
Or if they're, just criminals, they might not have any reason to risk their lives in a battle.
Right. But 200 is still a very large number compared to, I guess, even the people that we've met so far that could assist us.
So, we will assemble our forces outside of Bryn Shander.
All right. And as I said, she's got the message out, but she'll scratch out where it says Rel's End and then just write in Bryn Shander. It's like, all right. And then, all right, I'll go ahead and start sending these off. And then you just see her eyes just start moving wildly, and she starts moving her hands sort of like in front of her. She sees this sort of like holographic menu of like her contacts list, and she's picking out everyone that we've encountered so far, and then she starts typing up the message, basically saying about how we're going to stop the long night, we're going to bring back the sun, to meet in Bryn Shander. And to really punch it up, she puts it in all caps: solidarity now, solidarity forever, and puts the raised fist emoji at the end.
Don't forget the free mayonnaise.
And yes, she will specifically tell the Toad's Guard folks, free mayonnaise.
That's awesome.
Do we want to get there ahead of time to be able to be on the inside of Bryn Shander, be able to open up the doors for them once everyone gets there?
If we assemble a large force outside of the walls of Bryn Shander, they might come to us. And getting there and being inside while we wait for them to arrive gives a lot of time for Sybil to seek us out.
Maybe we seek her out first. Make sure that the inside of Bryn Shander has been secured before this force arrives.
I do not believe that we can secure the inside of Bryn Shander before the force arrives.
The best thing you can probably do is try to get inside, hunker down, hide somewhere, and be able to open up one of the gates. That way, we aren't trying to fight to open one up. Trying to attack the walls in a siege situation, because we don't have siege engines.
The Duergar do.
We don't know if they're going to bring them or not.
Maybe we should.
Ask them to.
Maybe we should.
I would like, I don't know if this is even going to happen, but I would like to suggest it's minimal damage to the one remaining town of this area as possible. But I don't know if that's going to be a thing.
Well, Alicia, you saw how big that statue was, right?
Yeah.
And you know how gravity works, right?
Yeah. Well, we can at least try.
Just if it starts falling, just run to either the left or the right.
Well, I hope to not be anywhere close to where it could fall onto me, but noted. Alright, so we try and get into the town, and which gate should we have? Probably not the northern gate, because that's where they would be coming from. The force would be coming south, so they would probably hit the northern gate first. So this is Lex trying to remember. There was the northern and southern, and there was one more gate. Was it eastern or west?
Let me pull up my Bryn Shander map here.
I can't remember if there was a gate at all four directions.
There's
Definitely-
a southwest gate, a north gate, and an east gate.
Okay, east. That's where it was.
Almost Bryn Shander is almost laid out if you look at it like the peace circle sign.
Okay. So maybe we take the south gate. If I recall correctly, that's some distance away from the church. And we wouldn't be immediately running into the armed forces that would be marching southward, since they would be getting to the northern gate. Thoughts?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
That makes sense.
All right. I guess we should gather up and whoever has a scroll.
Otis will take out the scroll and
And
move to this side of the room here and say,
if we're going to wait for the Durgar to arrive, we could just travel there normally and use the scroll to teleport inside the gate to open it when we want to let them in.
I'm trying to remember now. How long did it take for us to leave the Citadel and get back to? Or I guess I don't remember if we even went straight back to Bryn Shander. What was the distance between the Citadel and Bryn Shander?
From Revels Inn to Bryn Shander?
No. The Durgar Citadel to Bryn Shander.
Okay.
Trying to
Look
estimate
at
how
that.
long it would probably take them to get there.
You think that it would take them right between 4 to 5 days to get to Bryn Shander? To mobilize a large force and then move it out towards Bryn Shander.
Yeah.
But the Durgar are pretty efficient.
Right.
We've got the special speedy sled dogs. I believe we can get there well before they arrive.
And we kind of took a little bit of a couple of detours, but if it was from Revel's End to Bryn Shander, would that be equal amount of days?
Do a quick math check here to make sure that I'm correct.
I'm thinking at that point, may as well just not even use the scroll. Just go meet them at the same time.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be about 3 or 4 days of travel from Revels Inn to get to Bryn Shander.
Yeah, we could get there a day ahead.
Yeah, let's use the sled dogs and then use this scroll of teleport to get him to outmaneuver and then open up the gates if need be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Sounds-
what we're gonna have to do because the army had already left. What? 48. It's about 48 hours now since they left the prison.
Yep.
So
They're
they
about 2 days ahead of you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. So they definitely would be getting to Bryn Shander within the next day or so. So yeah, we may as well use this scroll more for opening up their defenses than trying to arrive or anything. Okay. Then yeah, we'll I guess we'll just leave normally from and use our sleds to get down.
Right, that makes sense. The stable master, Talbot, is there. He says, well, I will go outfit the dogs right away and get your sleds ready.
Warden, was the prison the only, I guess, outpost of Lord's Alliance forces in this region?
The next closest outpost would be the city of Luskin.
That's not gonna help then.
Yes, it's opening my eyes up to how really vulnerable and exposed we are up here.
Well, this place is supposed to be suited for isolation, and I don't think the expectation was for there to be a full-scale attack launched on a prison out in the middle of such isolation. Okay.
As I said to our other allies, Auril believes the isolation is what makes her people strong. But that is where she is wrong. Fighting together is what makes us strong.
I just had an idea.
What you got, Akia?
If we made a hole large enough and filled it with water outside of the gates of Bryn Shander, maybe we could summon PBR.
That would have to be a pretty big hole with a lot of water, Akia. I am not sure we have the resources for such an endeavor.
It is still a nice idea that I have enjoyed thinking.
Aside from resources, it would probably take some time to make such a large hole. And I don't know if the cult would allow us such time.
You're probably right. It was just an amusing thought.
No, that's fair. I mean, PBR could be used as siege cannons from afar. But I think the setup time it would be the issue. Also, if it's filled with water, I'm going to go on the limb and say that the church is good at controlling water and ice.
True. And I will say this. I just wish we could find Diamante. This is the sort of fight that she would love to be a part of.
I am going to go off by myself. As the team starts heading down to get ready to travel on the sleds. Just at some point that I can find to be myself. And I'm going to use the compass of the seeker to see if it will, just to see if it works, see if it'll point me in the direction of Diamante.
So you're going to ask the Seeker's Compass to see
Yeah.
if it will point you in the direction of Diamante.
You know what? I'm doing it in secret, so let me know if I should we go to secret chat?
Well, here's what I'd like you to do. As you're looking at the compass
Mm-hmm.
on the chat roller tab, go ahead and give me, as you're looking at the compass, a perception check. But let's make it a private GM roll. So click like the shady guy. There's like the dice, the shady guy, the ninja, and the ghost. Go ahead and make it the shady guy.
Okay, and then I can click on the character sheet.
That's correct, and this will make it a GM roll, so only you and I can see it.
All right, and you said perception?
Yep. Excellent.
Oh, we're almost at the end of the day, so I think I'll throw in my Factspiration.
Sure. Okay, and I will send you a message where our friend Akia believes this might be.
See, Akia doesn't want to make Lotus worry about more things, but is also very curious about what they saw in the scrying pool, if it was indeed a scrying pool.
So it's like, yeah, as that's going on, Lotus is helping get the dogs ready, and of course she's glad to be reunited with the head sled dog and Helical. Let's giving him all the good scritches. And she looks to Alicia and Game, and it's like, hey, did anyone see where Akio went to?
He walked off.
Oh, what, did he have to go use the little robot's room?
Very funny. That doesn't work that way.
If he did,
Yes,
that'd be a
Gabe.
first.
Yes, guys, that was the joke.
Something about
It's
his
been weird. Like,
yeah. I'm not sure where the pinpoint is. I guess there's been a number of different things. The hag cave where we fought Maud, Chiselbone, Jesus, I am blanking on everything today. What the hell? Grimskull, since coming back from there. I don't know. Something about some of these interactions has changed them in some way.
Well, you're not wrong, but I think, it's how life goes, Our experiences have changed us, and we're all different from where we started this whole thing.
well, yeah, it's a sudden radical change. So we're a little worried about what the outcome might be. Also, Leisha, do you have access to Heroes Feast?
Not at this time.
Well, I mean, we got
I
time. I mean, could you prepare it before we go in guns blazing?
Oh no, I'm saying I've heard of that spell, and at this current moment, it's outside of what I'm able to perform.
Oh, sorry. When you said not at this time, I thought you meant not right this second. You know, next time we better stuck and pray and not have it ready. So, my
Yeah,
bad.
no, it's quite all right. I've heard of stories. Uh, well, they were told in at the playhouse, so take it with a grain of salt of adventuring groups that challenge dragons and demons and fae, and for their final climactic battle, they all had a feast that empowered them before uh, going off into this showdown. Um, but it seemed like that was something very strong that their spellcasters were able to perform. Um, so while I have gotten stronger, I don't think I've gotten that strong just yet. Also, it sounded very expensive from what they, from, I mean, again, grain of salt. It was play production and all that stuff, so maybe it was hammed up a little bit, but it seemed like it cost quite a bit of resources for them to make this feast.
Right, I just figured since we're here, I mean, we could maybe get the warden to help us out with that since, you know, we saved their bacon and all. So just trying to be tactical and so.
No, that does make sense. Oh, see, I think you need like a goblet that's worth no, sorry, you need a jewel
Yeah,
encrusted
it's a
goblet
bowl.
that's or bowl that's worth 1,000 gold.
Yep,
Yep, it's pretty pricey. And
I know.
I think it's 6th level. So unfortunately I don't have 6th level spells yet. Or it could be 7th. I
Yet.
can't remember. Next level up I'll have 6th level spells.
Kia will go a roundabout way and try and beat them to the dog sleds.
You're going to try to beat everyone to the dog sleds from your location that you secreted off to?
Yeah, I'll jump out a window or something.
Okay.
Well, probably more like what the remains of a window, but sure.
Man, Akia is becoming unhinged in his
Kia has seen
It's
some
Lotus.
shit.
Lotus would look up and be like, "Did anyone else just hear something break?"
I did, and I don't know if I want to find out what that was. There was also
We get down to the dogs. The key is there. He's got a major dent in his head and he's got a limp now.
mm-hmm.
I didn't intend for any of this to happen. This campaign is changing him.
apparently. This will probably have to be when we're out riding. Okay.
All right. Well, it sounds like your guys' next moves is to hop on the dog sled.
I got the dog sleds already.
Ah. Yeah, well, thank you for keeping such a good eye on Helico for me.
Sure.
I'm just gonna go off my passive insight, which is 18. Yeah, something's definitely fishy, but I'm just gonna leave it for right now. Noted. Well, if we're ready to go, Warden, best of luck trying to get order back into what left of Rebel's End.
The warden will extend her hand. Thank you all for your help, and I think there's only one way for us to probably remain in contact. And she produces a stone toward the group.
Is this
Notice
a...
This is a sending stone.
Oh, I've heard of these.
Lotus will give a little bit of a chuckle at that and say, "Oh, it's been a while since I've seen something like this."
This will allow us to stay in contact with one another. In a limited fashion, of course. And sending stone. So they come in pairs. Each of them are basically paired to one another. When you touch the stone, you can use an action to cast the sending spell. The target is the bearer of the other stone. Once sending is cast through stone, they can't be used again until the next dawn.
Alicia's probably the closest to Marta after the whole exorcism thing. She should probably take it.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure, I'll take it.
All right, I will take the Warden Sending Stones and I will put them on character sheet so that if you guys need to contact the Warden, you consider a quick aim message and see if she's online. All right. Well, then
I'd
I
like your
will.
dial-up sounds for this thing.
Gosh. Oh man, that brings back some memories.
Kid, get off the phone!
Who's tying up the line?
You made me lose connection to the internet. I lost my game.
Oh, I guess in related news, I think the guy who did the voiceover for You Got Mail and other stuff for AOL passed away. I think like last week or so.
I don't know. Well, I'm sorry to hear that for that guy. He was a formative part of my years going home after school, hopping on the AIM. All right, folks. Well, it sounds like we have our path ahead of us carved for your steps to head to Bryn Shander, to set up your defenses, to claim your allies, and go to war against the cult of Auril. That's very exciting.
We didn't start
So,
this
folks-
war, but we'll definitely finish it.
I feel like as we, mount, load up our sleds and take off, Lotus is going to break into song.
It's going to be that dragon, dragonborn warrior throat singing, of course.
Oh, you weren't going to start singing Mulan?
Of course not.
I don't know why, but I started hearing Play of the Valkyries in my head.
I think you could do Flight of the Valkyries with Dragonborn throat singing.
Maybe? I don't know. There's no singing in Flight of the Valkyries. or excuse me, Ride of the Valkyries. It's all instrumental.
And after I saw pentatonics, I think that you could do anything you want with your voice.
That's fair.
Well, folks, then we will start our next session then with you guys, boom, traveling to Bryn Shander, and then starting in a very action-oriented way here with you guys taking out the Cult of Auril, taking out this statue, trying to get this all done before they can, well, turn the populace to darkness and take over the region. And you guys have the seeds planted for your next adventure, which is heading through the glacier, finding this ancient Netherese city to end the darkness that has plagued Icewind Dale for too long. Awesome.
Thanks for running.
My pleasure. Guys, I wanted to preview. I will probably not be able to run on the 29th because I've been told by my wife we have family stuff going on both the 28th and the 29th of this month. That's the Thanksgiving.
All right.
I just wanted to let you guys know that we got stuff going on those days, so I will not be running.
That's
Okay,
fair.
doke.
Said the 29th.
Yeah, 28th is Thanksgiving, 29th is Black Friday, and we've got family stuff going on that day.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Excellent. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and then I will see you guys next week for our next adventure.
Thanks for running.
Thanks for
My pleasure, guys. Bye.
And thanks everyone for tuning in. Catch you next time.